Welcome back, troglodytes, to Would You Rock or Not. Today is kind of an interesting guitar from a provenance standpoint. This is supposed to be Zakk Wylde's very first Gibson guitar. This listing was sent to me on my Facebook page within 3 minutes of it being listed, and I naturally saw it about 15 minutes after it had been listed, and I was like, wow, that is something. But that is also a really hard story to prove. Now, the seller of this guitar, I guess he has it on consignment, and he originally had it listed at $181,000. That's almost as much as a 59 Burst. And I really wanted to cover this guitar, but I noticed this guy kept changing the price. Once again, it started at $181,000. Then it was dropped down to, I think it was like 130 something for a day, and then it went down to 100,000, and then eventually to 19,810, signifying the 1981 year. And then it dropped to this one, 7,500. So this seller took the shoot for the moon, land in the stars approach, and it did eventually sell. Now, this guitar is a Gibson Firebrand SG. Now, if you don't know what a Firebrand model is, they made them in Les Paul SG and a 335-ish form, and they were basically kind of the first step towards a traditional what we know as a studio today. Now, the seller goes on to list the provenance behind this guitar. They say that Zakk Wylde, his real name Jeff Wieland, he graduated from Jackson Memorial High School in New Jersey, and I guess he sold this guitar after about a year of owning it, and in an interview with Gibson, he states that he regrets selling this guitar because he just loved the Pelham Blue finish on it. And then the article kind of goes into saying just how rare Pelham Blue is on this guitar, and that is correct. You do not see this finish on all the Firebrands out there. It is fairly uncommon, but towards the end of the run, you will start seeing more exotic finishes like Silverburst, Goldburst, and Pelham Blue. So I thought it was really fascinating that Zakk Wylde actually started on a Gibson Firebrand the SG. Now, the only provenance the seller has to this is apparently the current owner graduated from the same high school around the same time and has yearbooks with Zakk Wylde in it. Here's a photo of him in the most talented category of his yearbook, and I think they were pretty on the mark right there. He made a living playing guitar and now has his own guitar company. And I guess this is a photo of Zakk and the current owner, something like that, with the guitar back in the day, as well as some more teenage photos, and his senior year photo, compared to how he looks today. So it definitely is interesting that this person has these yearbooks, but I'm still not exactly sold that this proves that this was Zakk Wylde's guitar. I feel like you need some sort of written documentation or Zakk saying, yeah, that was my guitar. Because if you look right here, it almost looks like this was checked out of a library of some sort, just so they could take the photos to try to prove that this guitar was Zakk's. What I don't like is that these yearbooks are not included with the guitar, neither are any of the photos. So good luck trying to sell this thing again if you ever have to. So am I convinced that this was Zakk Wylde's first Gibson guitar? Not exactly. I would need further evidence as I just displayed. But this is a really cool VSG. It's in a fairly rare finish for one of these anyways, and it is heavily worn. You can see the frets have been leveled down pretty much as flat as they can go without needing replaced, and there is a lot of wear and tear to the back of the neck. The finish is pretty much worn off. Zakk has said in several interviews he would play for 12 hours a day just practicing to get better, and he would sleep through school all day, so I guess the condition is kinda evident of that. However, the seller does not claim that the wear came from him. As the clear coat ages over Pelham Blue, it turns green, so what you're seeing is the clear coat worn off in this area and the blue finish underneath, and then the blue finish worn off. So whether it's Zakk's first Gibson or not, only Zakk will ever know. This could just be any Pelham Blue The SG though that has heavy wear and tear and somebody tried to dress it up to sell it off as something it isn't. I can't really say one way or the other. What I would guess this guitar is worth, if you could further prove that this was Zakk's first Gibson, I would say $2,500 would be about right. But since none of that documentation actually comes with this guitar and there's no real guarantees, I threw the guy a $1,000 offer because worst case scenario, I only slightly overpaid for a worn The SG. I think it would have been cool to see this guitar in person, and maybe the video would have reached Zakk and we could have found out if it was his for real or not. The only question left: would you potentially rock Zakk Wylde's first Gibson guitar or not? Leave your answer down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.